"20 questions or 20 minutes, whichever comes first, as long as it's you." This is You Go First. I'm your host, Blair Payton. We have 20 questions, normally in a vase. My guest will draw the first question, and we'll go back and forth covering as much ground in 20 minutes. The timer begins after the first question is read. So guys, first of all, let me just say we're in a weird time right now. Everyone's social distancing because of COVID-19. So this is actually my first show where I don't have the guest in the studio with me. We're doing it through technology. God bless technology. So the way the show is structured, the way we normally do it, is going to be a little different. We'll go into that in a bit. But first, let me introduce my guest. It is one of my favorite people in the world. She's my comedy partner. Super funny. She's an actress, comedian. She's a teacher. She owns a theater. She has kids. She's about to get married. It's a big year for my guest. Her second appearance on the show. Please make welcome Ami Trowell.
Hey, Blair, what a nice introduction. I didn't know you liked me. That was really good to hear.
Well, and actually, it was funny because we were talking while I was setting up this recording, how all my ex-lovers love you.
I'm very likable by your ex-lovers, so.
I think they only date me to get to you.
I can neither confirm nor deny that, but I will say that I've gotten some very nice gifts from many of your boyfriends over the years. So yeah. Thank you for that.
I do think I may have to find someone who doesn't like you so that there's a little more longevity in the relationship. So I think that's my goal for 2020.
Nope. I think you're going to find that you just need to find somebody who likes me harder, because I think I'm very likable in this category. So
yeah, I mean, gay men flock to you.
There's 14 of them underneath my bed right now, just waiting to get out for the dance number. So
now I do have to ask you this, because you are getting married. Is it this year?
Yeah, technically yes.
Do you think your husband's gay, or your future husband?
I can't. There's nothing that would indicate that, so I don't think so.
He doesn't, like, when he climax, he doesn't sing like a show tune or say Liza.
I'm just not going to answer that.
So how are you holding up all social distancing? Are you going insane yet?
No, honestly, it hasn't been so bad. I'm kind of an introverted extrovert, so
I kind of think I am too.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed the opportunity to not have to, there's so much pressure to get out and do things and be social, which I enjoy. Mm-hmm. Also, I'm just going to point out really quickly, look at this picture in my room and then the picture behind your head in your room. They're very similar.
They are. But what is the picture behind you? What town is that?
So kind of ironically, that is Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland, which it has been releasing all the information. They've been kind of central in the COVID-19.
Okay.
And then your picture, I believe, is a skyline of New York City.
Yep.
Which is kind of a COVID-19 hotspot. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm super jazzed about that.
I'm sure.
Can I just tell you, I woke up this morning, I couldn't sleep, and there was a video. I made the mistake of going on Twitter. That is the one social media outlet you have to stay off of during this if you don't want to develop extreme anxiety. Because the stories, especially in the trending topics, it's all like doom and gloom. But there was a story. Do you know who Allie Wentworth is?
No.
Okay, that's fine. She's a comedic actress. She was on In Living Color. She's like one of those people you would know her as soon as you saw her. And she's also married to George Stephanopoulos.
Mm-hmm. Stephanopoulos. I got it.
Well, she developed the coronavirus. So this morning on Good Morning America, they posted a video of her, and she's like basically talking about her experience to kind of help people like kind of what to expect. And the whole time I was watching it, she was talking about shortness of breath, and I was like laying in bed, and I felt, it was clearly anxiety, but I felt short of breath, and I was like, Okay, hold your breath. If you can hold it for 10 seconds, you don't have it. So
Yeah, I would think, I don't want to call you a hypochondriac, but I would think for a person who is as medically empathetic as you are, this would be a very difficult time.
a lot of people have said that, not so much with the smart verbiage you used, but all things considered, I'm doing mostly fine.
You're either faking it very well when I've seen you, or you're doing kind of okay.
It's a little of both. It's hand in hand.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. I'm supposed to come home in May, which I'm a little bit worried about because, I don't have the coronavirus, but I very well could be a carrier. And I don't want to go home, see my dad, who's like in his early 70s, and possibly kill him because that would make me feel terrible, Amy.
Yeah, I could, again, you're so empathetic. I could see why that would hurt your feelings.
Thank you. And I don't know if you heard the last episode of You Go First, but it was so weird because I was listening to it the other day because I'm a narcissist. And in the episode, one of the questions was, are you afraid of the coronavirus? And we recorded that show back in early February. And I was like, oh my God, this is so weird how everything has changed so quickly.
It really did too. Like Wednesday of that week that they closed schools here in Virginia, it was still like, ooh, I wonder if maybe not. And then in like 48 hours, schools.
Excuse me, I have to stretch out my legs because I've been doing home workouts and my knees are bad. Go ahead, continue.
Oh, nice.
I'm setting spread eagle in front of my camera. I may have a new job before this is over.
Wow. Well, that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're all going to need probably new work.
Exactly.
Good.
I'm sorry, you were talking. I don't mean to interrupt.
No, I don't think I was saying anything that incredible. Just that everything happened really quickly, basically.
It was so weird. So I went into work. It was a Thursday. It was March 12th.
Yep.
Went into work. And before I even got to work, there was an email that was sent out that said, all right, you guys, we're going to be mandatory work from home starting at 1:30. Mm-hmm. So I got to work and it was like the weirdest vibe. It was kind of overcast outside. We were packing up our desks and it felt like the last day of school, but it was like, what's going to happen beyond this? Like, it was like, yeah, we get to go home for the summer, but then what happens next? It was the weirdest feeling.
So that Saturday, which would have been the 14th,
yep.
That was the day that I went wedding dress shopping.
Oh.
And so and of course it's been planned for forever. And so as a group, we were like, do we go? Do we not go? It was also the day that the St. Patrick's Day parade was supposed to be downtown.
Mm-hmm.
They canceled that already. And so we went anyway, but it's so weird to think about. Even that was about 3 weeks ago now.
It's crazy.
How I don't even go to the grocery store now. So.
Well, I am going to the grocery store. That is like my one thing I look forward to get out of the house.
Yeah.
But even when I go to the grocery store, the air is so thick that I'm like, oh God, I feel like I'm just walking into a room filled with coronavirus air.
Well, everybody looks like a giant germ to me right now. Mm-hmm. So we can go to the grocery store. That's been my experience, that when I go in, I just look at people, and I don't know that everyone understands what 6 feet looks like. So we're supposed to stand 6 feet apart, but a lady touched me actually one time. This has been now 3 or 4 weeks ago, but I was like, are you crazy? Because I will elbow you.
Why did she touch you?
She was reaching for coffee, like a bag of coffee, and she reached past me and touched my arm.
Wait, was it kind of a meet cute situation?
No, she seemed like.
Were you like bumped bodies and you're like, oh, I'm sorry. And you're like, I'm sorry too. And then you lock eyes and there's like a sparkle.
I don't think you're listening to my story. I wanted to elbow her in the face. I mean, maybe that's the way I show love. I haven't figured everything out yet.
Well, did you say something to her or?
Yeah. I did the sort of normal passive aggressive thing where I was like, excuse me. And she was like, oh, I guess there's only decaf. No, woman. I'm very angry, and I have underlying redneck in me, and you don't know, my kids are not with me. I could punch you.
How old was this woman? Was she older?
70. It would have been a bad scene. It would have been an unfair fight.
Yeah, because there's nothing worse than getting beat up by a 70-year-old.
By a 70-year-old. I wouldn't have wanted that. And her husband was nearby, so it would have been 2-on-1. I wouldn't have had a chance, but.
That's fair. But good for you.
For knowing my limits.
For knowing your limits. All right, Amy.
I did not get any coffee that day, by the way.
Oh my God. I've been living. Can I just tell you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, since I got this new job, because I work with a podcast network now called Audio Boom.
Yes.
Since I've been working there, I drink so much coffee. I am an adult now.
Oh, I knew it was going to happen one day.
It's scary. I mean, for the longest time I fought it. I was like, it tastes like hot dirt. But if you add a little creamer in there, it tastes like hot dirt with creamer, and it's delicious.
I did not know that you did not drink coffee until recently, like at all.
Well, I was getting coffee from Starbucks, but it was always like prettied up. I would get a latte, which is mostly milk with a little bit of espresso. And then when I was dating my last boyfriend, he drank iced coffee. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give that a try. So that's where it started. I started with iced coffee, but I would not venture down hot coffee path. And then it was just a slow progression. And then my work wife, who was in the last episode, she would drink coffee all the time. And, you know, we would just be talking together. And it just kind of happened as a reflex, you know, and wanting to fit in, I would copy her. And then it just happened, you know, and here we are.
Do you know those things that are going around on Facebook? I don't know, maybe you're not on Facebook very much, but like 10 things I hate that other people love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know it, but I'm familiar with the concept.
Yeah, it's complicated, but maybe you can get it from the title. So one of the things that I hate that I think a lot of people love is Starbucks coffee.
Well, that's my thing right now. So now that I'm drinking coffee, I find it hard when I make it at home to find a good brand that's actually good.
Ooh. Yeah. See, I like Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
See, I bought their coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I like it when I'm out, but making it, I don't know, maybe I'm making it wrong. I mean, you can't really fuck it up, but you know, I've been known to find a way.
Yeah, that it is possible. Don't undersell yourself. You can definitely fuck up making a cup of coffee.
Why are you so good to me?
I love you.
Oh my God, I love you too, Amy. Okay.
Also, I'm drinking Diet Coke, but it's in a cup.
Me and Amy are both Diet Coke-aholics.
We really are.
We've tried to quit and we keep coming back, and it's like love. If you love something, set it free and it'll come back.
Comes right back like a boomerang.
Before we get into the 20 questions, I will say this. The other day, fully stocked, got tons of food, and I was laying in bed and I put my clothes on. And I told my roommate, Nick, I was like, I got to go to Walgreens. And he was like, why? And I was like, we're out of Diet Coke and I can't drink water anymore.
Yeah.
So there it is.
Yeah. We order our food approximately, we get it like once a week. And we were getting to the like point where the groceries hadn't come. We'd ordered them, but they hadn't come yet. And there was very little there was like 6 Diet Cokes, cans of Diet Coke. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I did. I made it. And here I am.
Quick question. Do you like it from the bottle or the can?
Honestly, I'd probably prefer drinking it from the bottle, but I get cans because I tend not to drink a whole bottle.
Well, you can always you have a refrigerator, right?
I know, but then I just stick it in there, and then I don't want to drink like 1/4 of a bottle of Diet Coke at some point.
I mean, that's fair, I guess. I don't know. You just need to be committed and drink the whole thing.
You're right. I'm a quitter.
You got to stay hydrated.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're not doing it. Okay, so let's get into the 20 questions. So this is how it's going to work. So it's going to be a little different because we're social distancing. We're alone together. So I have the questions on my end. They're numbered, okay? As soon as I start the timer, pick a number between 1 and 20, and I will read you the corresponding question, and we'll both answer. Got it? And we'll try to get through all the questions in 20 minutes. 9 times out of 10, we won't, but hey, it'll be fun to try, huh?
Always.
Pick a number between 1 and 20. I will read that first question and then start the timer. So, Ami Trowell, you go first.
All right. I say number 13.
While walking, do you prefer music or podcasts? Timer begins now.
Probably music.
Really? Do you ever flip-flop back and forth?
I'm one of those people that I like the concept of podcasts, and I think it would be really good to listen to podcasts. And I have a number of podcasts that people have recommended, but I don't ever have any podcasts. I'm in podcasts. I make podcasts, but I don't listen to them. I feel bad about it, but there it is.
Wow, hearing your answer feels, I've never been shot, but I can only imagine this is what it feels like.
I know. See what I mean? It's not out of lack of care. I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool. That's cool. We just really started off this section of the show weirdly. I'm going to answer. I'm going to power through.
Okay.
I'm a flip-flopper. Would you like me to expand on that?
Yes, please.
So because I now work in the podcast industry, I listen to a lot of podcasts for work. So lately I'm more music, but sometimes I listen to the same songs over and over. So I go back and forth. So right now I'm in my music phase. But keep in mind, the most walking I do is to the grocery store, and it's usually with my roommate and we're talking to each other. But speaking of music, Kelly Clarkson has a new album out, and that was the best news I'd heard since this whole why can't I say it? You know what? I don't want to say it. Since this fucker came around.
There you go. Let it out, buddy.
So I'm currently in the music phase. Music. Oh my God, can I not talk? Do I have corona now?
I don't think that's one of the signs. I don't think that's one of the symptoms.
Ooh, that was scary. Okay, Ami, draw another. Oh, I'm so used to saying draw. Pick another number.
I'm going to say 7.
Okay, number 7. What's the first thing you'll do once this pandemic is over?
Oh, well, it will probably go hug my daughter, Madeline, because she doesn't live with me. She lives with her boyfriend who still works. So we get to see each other, but we have to stand 6 feet apart when we visit. So I'm really looking forward to not having to stand apart from her.
I do have a question about that. How does that work? Like, does she come to your house and you stand on the porch and she stands on the sidewalk?
Pretty much. We, a couple of times we met at a park or met at we met at a tennis court one time. And we just stand 6 feet apart. Yeah. I went to her house yesterday to drop some stuff off for her, and she stood kind of up and I stood out in the yard. Have you thought about getting tested for it? In Virginia, at least in Roanoke, they won't test you unless you have symptoms, you've traveled, and or that you've been exposed to someone who has corona. Yeah. My roommate, he, right at the beginning of this pandemic, he kind of had the symptoms. And of course, the symptoms are so kind of basic. They could be attributed to any illness, Sure. And so he called the doctor to say, hey, I, just want to come in. I want to make sure, I have what medicines I need. And they were like, well, what symptoms do you have? He told them, and they were like, all right, don't come in, just stay home. Because they were like, they don't even want to risk it. And there's so many lines, and it's crazy. Yeah. And, of course, there in New York, you'd have to travel and interact with a bunch of different stuff. So just the thought of getting on the subway or taking an Uber. Yeah. No way. I am getting more steps in when I do walk. I think the first thing I want to do, I just want to get real slutty or dance. You could do both. Don't limit yourself. I mean, you could be slutty dancing, right? Yeah, but by slutty, do you know what I mean? It's like rubbing yourself. Yeah, but someone has to be in the room with me. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? So I rub myself while they watch. Okay. Well, maybe you could dance. You could add some dance moves in.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. I'll just invite a guy over, set him in a chair.
Yes.
Put on the new Lindsay Lohan track.
Sure.
And just really.
And
by the way, if you're wondering, it's called Back to Me. And that's
and you can turn your back to your lover.
Yeah. All right, Amy, pick another number.
Okay, I say number 1.
Ooh, number 1. Okay. I'm so glad you picked this one.
Me too, did.
All right, here we go. This is the one you picked.
All right.
Would you rather watch your parents have sex every night for the rest of your life, or join in for one night to make it stop?
Ah! Why? I don't want to do either of those things.
Well, you have to pick one.
I'm just gonna have to watch them every night because there's no way I'm having sex with my parents. Sorry, Mom and Dad, or you're welcome, whichever one.
I mean, it is a really tough question. The good news for me is my mother has since passed.
I don't think that makes it better.
Oof. God, now I feel weird. Like when I first, here's the thing. When I found this question, I was like, this is going to be so funny to ask Amy. But now that I'm in the position to answer it, I feel like I should take a Silkwood shower.
Yeah. This is like Sophie's Choice, but worse.
Ooh. I need a minute just to process what I've done to both of us.
I'm just going to make this face until it's over. Ugh.
It was so funny in theory, but now I feel weird. I feel weird and uncomfortable. But hey, I haven't thought about the coronavirus. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, but for a second you didn't. Yay!
You're welcome. All right, pick another question. Pick another number.
Let's go with 5.
Number 5. Okay. What are some goals you have already achieved?
Well, I opened a theater. That was a goal.
Yeah, and talk about your theater a little bit. Do a little promo.
Well, hopefully I still have a theater at the end of all this, but in theory, so Theater 3.
Hold on one sec. I'm opening up my snack.
Okay, I'll hold.
I feel like this is a long story, so I want to enjoy my snack while you talk. Go.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a long story. Yeah, so it's called Theater 3. It's in Roanoke, Virginia. Primarily, I teach improv classes there, and we do some shows, some improv shows. Burlesque is there, or was there at least before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had a monthly burlesque show every Sunday, like the second Sunday.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we've been doing that for 6 months or so.
Oh, wow. I am a terrible friend. Okay.
That's okay. And we also have something called the Queer Cafe, which would have been in March, but of course we had to cancel it, which is all queer performers. And there are yoga classes there, which is just basically because people will take yoga in the middle of the week. So there's that. Yeah. I do not teach yoga, by the way. But yeah, and we had a play there. I'm sure we'll have other stuff there. Hopefully. If I can pay the rent for the next couple of months, we'll be good.
What about any other goals?
Oh, other goals. I don't know. I'm not a big goal person. I in theory, I have completed all the work for my master's. I should be graduating on May 24th, maybe. I can't remember, but.
Are they going to have a ceremony?
No, there's no graduation. They're talking about moving it. So I don't know if that means that I don't technically have a master's degree until later, but I've finished everything at this point. So.
Yeah. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Me. I don't have firm goals.
Yeah.
But I have semi-hard goals.
Sounds right.
I mean, one of my goals was to come to New York. Because I remember as a kid, and this is the God's honest truth. Oh, sidebar, the snack I was eating, in case you're wondering, was Belvita soft-filled cocoa cream.
Nice.
Amy.
Yeah.
Order these. They're delicious.
Okay. I'll put them
I'm
on
telling
the
you,
list.
they are fantastic. So anyways, no, when I was a kid, I used to watch Friends, like, religiously, which, by the way, I don't think has totally aged well.
That's fair.
But no, I used to watch Friends as a kid, and I was like, oh my God, that would be so cool to have all my friends in close proximity, and we just hang out in a beautiful apartment, live in the city. And that was one thing. Oh, well, and like a lot of TV shows I watched as a kid, like I used to watch Rhoda. She lived in New York, and it just seemed like such a cool place to live. So that was one of my goals, to live in New York, and I'm doing it.
There you are.
I will say, nothing like Friends. Like, even trying to see Friends is like...
super complicated, right?
It is super complicated, because it's like, it can be like a whole day. Especially if it's the weekend and you're coming from Brooklyn into the city. So that was one of my goals. And, you know, I have loftier goals as well. I still want to be on SNL. So that's a goal. I would like to be a cast member, but maybe at this point, a host. I don't know. Or a janitor. I don't know, something.
Sure.
And I've always wanted to have my own sitcom. It used to be in front of a live studio audience, but now that, you know, single camera is more cachet, I have to follow the twin. Yeah, I can't talk, Amy. I get
Start a
up.
new twin.
Yeah, so I've achieved some of my goals, and I'm working on the other. So that's good. What's the snack you're eating?
I am eating Kroger brand sour cream and onion chips.
Oh, they look fine.
So we sell snacks at the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And they are they were going these expired on March 30th, so
Oh, you still got time. I mean, they're chips. They're like dehydrated potatoes. You're good.
They're
All
fine.
right.
They just weren't going to last till May. Okay.
Pick another number.
How about 20?
20. Okay. What was your most recent lie? Now, be careful how you answer this, depending on who listens to this. Because we've asked this question has come up in the past before, and it can get you in trouble. So be careful how you answer this question.
I can't think of anything I've lied about.
Oh, you're so virtuous.
Well, more I'm just bad at lying because I can't.
What was what's the most recent lie that was so obvious? Dead air is not good for a podcast, Amy. Just a heads up.
I know. I'm searching the inside of my forehead for an answer, but I don't have an answer at all. I really cannot. I can't think of a lie. I'm so sorry. I'm sure I will think of one later, but I can't think of any time I've lied.
The one I recently, excuse me, I just burped. That's the trouble with drinking Diet Coke, especially doing a podcast.
Perfect.
Most recent lie I told, I think I was talking to one of my sisters who's having a really rough time with this whole coronavirus thing. And like, I was having a rough day, but she asked how I was doing. And I was just like, I don't want to talk about it. So I was just like, no, I'm fine. You know, just to get through it. Because it was like, yeah. So that's the most recent lie.
Yeah. I still can't think of one.
All right. So pick another number. We have 4.5 minutes left.
Okay. Well, let's go with number 4 then.
Okay. Number 4. What is your favorite theater game?
Well, I'll tell you the one that came to my mind first anyway. Mm-hmm. So there's a game called Ba. It's a pass the energy game. So a lot of game, like you stand in a circle, the group stands in the circle, and then one person kind of starts and they pass the energy around the circle. So with this one, you can, you say ba, and then the next person as they pass it on. But then there are different levels. So there's also one, so you can say boing, and then everybody kind of does a squat, which is one of the reasons I like it, because you sneak in a little squat exercise.
I love that.
But then you can also call a dance party, and you can say a specific kind of dance party, like junior high school dance party, dinosaur dance party. Or you can call a freak out, where everybody does a thing and they change places in the circle. And same, you can call like a robot freak out, or I forgot to do my taxes freak out. And there's no wrong answer, of course. You do however you interpret what's called.
Okay.
So it's just a lot of fun. People laugh and are silly, but that's probably one of my favorites anyway.
I can't think of my favorite one, but I will tell you one that I am terrible at.
Oh, good.
Is the clapping one.
Oh, where you clap together?
Or you clap in unison.
Yeah, I remember you being terrible at that.
It's really hard. The trick is to look at their elbow, and then you can get it on the clap.
You're supposed to look them in the eye.
What am I thinking of? You're right. It is the eye. Why did I think elbow? Oh, I think that's if you're doing a high five. That's what I'm thinking of. But no, I was always terrible at that. But then when I started to get somewhat better about it, I would always clap so hard that my hands were like beet red. So it became an aggressive game for me, and that's why I shy away from that one. Ooh, and another one I hate. I know I'm totally negating what the actual question is. Mind meld.
I don't know what that is.
So that's basically you have two people. So you're in a group of people, like a circle. So two people look at each other, and on the count of three, they say the first word that comes into their mind.
Okay.
And then that person turns to the person beside them, and then they will say the first word that comes to their mind, but they try to say the same word. So basically the word that was said from the previous two people, the next two people have to think of a common word that would make it. And the goal is to say the same word. But I am terrible at that game. It
sounds really hard, honestly.
I'm probably not explaining it clear enough, but yeah, it's always hard for me. But there's some people who are so good at it, and I'm just like, no. Like the more people that like get the words the same, they become like a group. So it's usually like 6 people against me. It's very triggering. I will say that.
Sounds like dodgeball.
Oh my god! But I did used to love dodgeball because I was good at dodging it. Okay, pick another number.
15.
15. This is a weird one. How many chickens would it take to kill an elephant?
12.
You think 12?
Yep.
I'm going to say 37.
That's a lot of chickens.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on whether the chickens are armed or not.
Yeah. Okay, we have 15 seconds. Pick another number.
9.
Number 9. What game have you spent the most hours playing?
Theater game, probably Ding.
Ding. Okay. And that's, on that note, can you hear it?
I think that's so pleasant.
We did it. We got through, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. Amy, how do you feel? Give a speech.
I would like to thank everyone who made these questions, for making them. I would like to thank my dogs for not coming in and barking while I was on this podcast. And I would like to thank my parents for not forcing me to watch them have sex for the rest of my life.
Oh my God, Amy, that was such a good speech. You know what? I'm going to take that clip right there of you speaking that speech. Yeah. I'm going to send it to you. You transcribe that, and that's your speech for graduation.
That's a really great idea. My dogs are barking, so that's
They're like, the show is over. Get back here and pay attention to us. All right, Amy, before we go, is there anything you would like to plug? Anything you'd like to say?
I wish, if you like theater, if you like live theater, please give to your local theaters, buy gift certificates, send Venmo money, love on them. It's really hard for us. We, of course, miss performing for you, but we definitely want to be able to turn our lights back on when it's time. So
do you have
businesses?
Do you have any sort of fundraiser set up for your theater?
I don't. We've talked. There's a possibility that in the late summer or fall that we'll be able to do something, but we have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Right now we're locked in until June 10th, so nothing before that.
Is that for Roanoke specifically?
That's for Virginia. All of Virginia has a stay-at-home order. There's my dog.
Yeah.
Till June 10th we have to stay inside all of Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're not even in the hotbed. We don't even have that.
You don't have a stay-at-home order?
Well, I haven't been looking at Twitter, so we very well could be. I mean, there's nothing to do, so there's nowhere to go, so I'm just staying at home. So I'm adhering to a rule if there is one in place, but like I'm trying to stay away from social media because I don't have that much Klonopin left.
I hear you.
You know?
You do have a stay-at-home order. I don't know if there's an end date to it though. But it's just what you've been doing. You can go to the grocery store. I think you can still walk around for exercise.
And just to point this out, New York did specify it is safe to masturbate.
They said that?
Well, it was like these guidelines that came out about safety practices, and it did cover sex. And it was like something like, you are your safest when you're by yourself.
Well, that's good to know, New York. Thank you.
So on that note, I'm going to get off here, finish my Diet Coke, and diddle myself.
Feels like a lot of information.
So, Amy, thank you so much for, this beautifully ties together, coming first.
Absolutely. And thanks for the opportunity to wear a bra today.
Oh, and also, before we go, this is one thing we should plug. We've been making dumb videos that people need to watch.
Yes, watch our dumb videos.
We've been doing, so these characters we've been doing 4 years. I can't believe I'm just now thinking about this as the show's wrapping up. But we've been doing these characters, Lester and Helen, mother and son, for years. And so we're doing these Skype sessions where they're all improvised and they're funny as hell. And if you go to YouTube, the page is Tuned Out TV, and you'll see it's Mother and Son Skype Sesh. Check it out. You know what? I'm going to put it in the podcast description.
Is it going to be right down below?
Yeah, so look down.
Look down, and you see it right there.
There's a link, so get to it. All right, Amy, thank you for coming first. I'm so glad I gave you a reason to wear a bra. So, all right, enjoy the rest of your quarantining, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye, Blair.
Bye.